Namaste, everyone, and welcome to this wonderful panel where we're going to see queens support queens. We have an eclectic panel, and I like to call them eclectic performers because each one of them, and I am lucky to have had a personal experience with each one of these wonderful artists. But they're eclectic because not only are they fantastic performers and artists in their own right, but they are amazing human beings. So let's go straight to the panel, to my wonderful panel. Look at you. A sight for sore eyes. The face crack of the century. I'm not talking about my face. I'm saying that by looking at them, my face is cracked. Makeup! No, we don't need it. But welcome, ladies, girls, didis, darlings. I love you all so much, each one of you. And who should we start with? The most followed?
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense.
But listen, I have never seen you so like, hi guys.
Yeah, our neighbors called and said we're too loud.
Oh, already?
We're gonna be
Nah, we're
sultry.
too- we have
Sultry.
to
I was
tone
like,
it
what
down.
in the ASMR is that introduction?
No. So we have, first up, we'll start with my very dear friend and YouTube's darling, who has made it to Netflix and beyond with her fantastic relatable content. She's one of the first social media stars that I watched, and I was lucky to have seen her even before that in college. She's not just a fantastic artist, she's a humanitarian that speaks on human rights. She has also supported the LGBT community in more ways than I could have imagined, because through my journey, I have shared so much with her. Prajakta Kohli is not just a name, but she is a movement. Welcome to the panel.
God, look at that. Thank you. First of all, it's such a pleasure and such an honor that I get introduced, like we get introduced by you. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I love you. But you unfortunately don't have an audience, but the audience is watching and they'll clap from home. Yeah, silent claps. Next up, we have someone who's probably aced most of the mediums that are available today. We started, now see, I said I'll have a personal story with all of them. We started in a theatre production together, Merchant of Venice, where Rytasha played this amazing character, which I couldn't believe that you did so well, first of all. And then you had your TV debut. You aced it in that also. And then you made it to films, you made it to, social media. What do you not do, first of all? And then you spoke about issues that other people shied away from speaking. You are an artist, humanitarian. Again, you speak for women, you speak for body positivity, you speak for the community again. And I just think that we are so lucky to have you here, because I've seen your journey and we're going to talk about it in a bit. But welcome to the panel, my darling. You look stunning today.
Thank you. It's really come full circle from the days when I was a young warthog.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to be here with all of you today. Honestly, it's an honor.
Thank you. And we enjoy you so much on screen. But having said that, have you watched Kusha's this glow up every morning? Ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, put your hands together for Kusha Kapila. Yes.
What?
Oh my
Oh
God.
my god, no one's ever taken my second name like Kapila.
That's why they hire me for all this. I give the whole, it's a show. Yeah. But Kusha is again, is this okay if I say comedian?
Yeah, of course. Why
Yeah,
not? Yes.
because I think that your comedy is so realistic, but it's so hard-hitting, but it's so slapstick, but it's also so real. It's so relatable that I think it's reality. It's hardly comedy anymore. I feel like you are attacking me through your characters because when you make fun of that Didi and the Bhabhi, I'm just like, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, she's talking about me. And that's, I'm sure, so many of you all. But Kusha again has been a constant believer and a supporter of marginalized communities. She has, in fact, she's one of the first Indians to have sat with international drag royalty, Violet Chachki. She has interviewed them, and she has been a very active part of empowering women through her content and making very relatable content, as I said. So welcome. The moment, all three of y'all are the moment of this panel. The moment, Kusha Kapila, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. This is surreal for me, honestly. I manifested this and I'm so glad this is happening. And I'm usually attacking myself. I think people just get attacked in the process. I think you feeling attacked is collateral damage, actually.
I love it. I would love to be attacked like this very often. All right, should we get into the questions?
We must.
Dive right in.
I feel like Sushant has just started like that.
I know.
The rest of the panel, I just feel like I do not want to change my.
I know. It's
She
very
should-
proper.
They should have cordoned off the whole, they should have cordoned off the whole community because it's going to get very loud.
Loud, yeah.
Yeah.
I sound like how my mother wanted me to be when I grew up.
Soft spoken, good girl.
All right, so we're going to talk about all your projects that you all are already doing and Miss Plan A, Plan B, which is coming up. But Prajakta, you have dabbled in fiction, non-fiction, reality, everything. How has the experience been for you being at the helm of looking at characters that you play that is changing the game for female artists?
Honestly, I think the fact that you put it in that many words is actually many times news for me. Because, honestly, and I think we'll all relate on this, like a lot of times when you're writing female characters for yourself, you're not really always looking through the lens of, oh, I want to sensationalize this, or I want to speak about this because nobody's talking about it. Most of the time on the internet, you just, because you go through it, you talk about it like it's normal. But when it's put in that many words, over the years, you reach a point where you realize that, oh, okay, that actually changed a little bit, or oh, okay, now that I look at it, I didn't put that much thought in it, but I see that because we kept it real and we kept it relatable, like she said that she's attacking herself. So it's not really more like, we are trying to make a point. And I think that is where the whole thing came out. And I honestly think I'm extremely fortunate that even the characters that I play now, which are not written by me, are so beautiful. Like, one of the things that I loved about Dimple in Mismatch was that finally we had a girl that we know, she wasn't perfect, and so many times people used to be like, but he's so cute, like why is Dimple not? I'm like, but bro, that's not her agenda, like she's there to work. And I liked that normal people were showed normally without making a point, or trying to tick boxes. So I think it's changed a lot, and the lenses are changing, the writing is changing, which is great, but obviously long way to go.
Yes, a long way to go, but I think it's a beautiful start. And if you've seen on this panel, we're celebrating the divine feminine. And not just in front of the camera, but even behind camera. Today you see so many women, so many powerful female artists and, technicians, directors, producers, writers are involved today, which probably wasn't the case maybe a decade back. And I think that's exactly what I'm saying. You're a part of this process very actively, and you're changing the game. And having said that, it's very important to realize that this is why, again, they hire me. It's for me to make y'all realize the change y'all are bringing. And I know it's not, it's very stupid to talk about yourself, but let me talk about you and let them know. Let the audience, teach the children. It's a lesson. Understand the assignment, children. Coming to Rits. My Rits, you have broken so many barriers and norms. See, she's nodding. I'm telling you, Pan.
But I feel if someone's complimenting you, I think it needs to be acknowledged, because as women, we just deflect compliments.
Yes.
I'm so glad she's doing that.
Yeah, and this is the divine feminine in me as a trans person telling you that I have learned to accept my body. I have learned that this is okay by watching you, and I thank you for that. And how does it feel when you have, now with great things that you do, there's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, but strong shoulders you have. So what would you say to the person that's watching you? Now, I don't want to say a girl only, because it could be a trans person watching you and gaining this from you, just you sitting here and representing yourself. What do you have to tell that young person
It's wild. It's a wild journey. I would say also I'm very, very blessed. And somehow, I suppose my desire and commitment to my craft has brought me this far. Nothing else, really. Right place, right time, privilege, many things. We have to acknowledge it all. It's not just some magic that I've grown up and become this person. In fact, 2-3 days ago, I've had a meltdown with my mom and I've cried and been like, I was an obese child and I was so upset. I felt worthless. And she was like, I'm so sorry, we didn't mean for that. And I was like, but still, it just made me feel like shit and I'm still trying to unlearn so much of that crap. So whether you're whatever gender, it is just like self-esteem is such an important part. It's not even about how we look or so much to unpack there. But self-esteem, I think, a sense of self-worth, it's a work in progress still, I think, and for all of us. Every day, like we've had this conversation also, you wake up some days feeling like utter trash and burning hot garbage, Some days it's like, wow, main to heroine hu. So just try to find a balance, and whoever's watching this, and if you're not happy with yourself, just chill out. It's going to get better. Just take care of yourself and show up for yourself, which is the hardest thing to do on some days, but Raju does it really well. Good job, P.
Yeah, good job,
the
P.
rest of you.
I love that. No, but even you, Kusha, but when I see your posts, it's not all... I like the way you show that, yes, we're artists on screen, but we also have a life that you beautifully portray through your posts, saying that every day is not the same.
Yeah.
And that's a reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a face that you have chosen to show, all three of you, with your content. But one thing is your content, but also the people you are. You've allowed people to get into your lives and understand that we're as human as you are. We have issues.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like even projecting yourself out there, if you constantly only show that you are this big ball of absolute confidence and grit and courage, that's not true, really. You're going to have really bad, really low days. And, Rytasha is talking about this, and she's been such an inspiration for me. I'll tell you why. Because we once were working for this fitness brand, and there was this sports bra ad that we were doing together. And everybody on that set was not a conventional body standard. So I'm not kidding that if I was there, usually I would just like do my bit and leave. But because Rytasha was there, she was like, it's the golden hour. Why don't we just step out and click pictures? And suddenly we were all feeling ourselves and tits out, waist in, all of that was happening.
And I was much obeser then, I would like to say.
Yeah, and you were bigger, but I think it didn't matter in that moment. And I still look back at those pictures and be like, oh, that's fantastic. And Rytasha and I have this common line where, and I must talk about this, is whenever we get these casting calls. And I've gone from being body positive to body neutral, which is like it's not all about my body, and I want to get past that. So obviously when we get casting calls, literally we've gotten roles where the person, the casting director has said that this woman's attribute is that she likes eating. Imagine.
Oh.
Character trait.
That's a character trait.
I remember we spoke about this.
And it's so funny that I would this one time be telling her about this story, and she's like, bro, same. So it's like a thing, and it's with a lot of the creators also who are trying to transcend to the mainstream, if you like to call it, or the OTT. Obviously, Rytasha is an actor, trained actor, but for us who don't fit in the conventional body standards, I feel like that's one hurdle that we need to sort of cross and take a leap from there. But we're getting there. I think we're getting there. I think.
अभी हाल में मुझे lead role का offer मिला है, and they've not mentioned that.
Wow.
We have made progress.
I mean, behen, not bro. Behen.
Love it. No, in fact, I wanted to ask you, Kusha, also about the fact that, exactly what you mentioned is that now Prajakta and you are not trained actors. Rytasha is. She's a boss. See, spotlight.
कोई कदर नहीं है, by the way, industry में.
No, I'm sorry. I have to mention here, I'm taking too much time. I was once in a reading room with Rytasha. the entire room was cracking up at anything she was saying. And there were these parts where the people were not present. So she was taking their parts too, in different voices.
It's the most fun to do.
And I was in awe of her, intimidated by her, but at the same time I was like, I'm here to just observe her and learn. I mean, जो तैयारी होती है ना, उसको कोई beat नहीं कर सकता. And this girl has taiyari in life, which was...
Can I add to that a little bit?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
please.
So when I've done one show, I've had the pleasure of doing a show with Rytasha. And
I have the pleasure indeed.
And I remember, so Ritasha's van was always next to mine, okay? And every day when I used to walk on set, so I used to walk before all the other contestants. So when I used to walk on set, I used to always see Rytasha standing, every time there was a performance that was going to happen, and Rytasha standing outside and doing all these vocal exercises. Yeah. Okay, and I would hear Rytasha in my van also.
My vocal warm-ups are very loud.
Yeah, and very strange, but very
orgasmic. You know? It's like to release tension.
I have experienced this.
Right? So I used to be like in the van. So by the second, third day, my whole team used to be like, oh, listen, Ritasha's doing warm-ups. We need to walk.
I love
it was
this.
like that. What I learned, honestly, from that, see, now, as much as if I had the knowledge about what warm-ups do when you're performing, as much as I would have loved to do it, I would have done it in my van. But seeing her do it the way she was doing it, and everybody was looking, okay? Everybody's walking around and everybody's like laughing, talking, looking. And I remember just so many times standing outside my van and just be like, I was like, this is great. Like the kind of confidence and the kind of कि भैया मैं तो अपना काम कर रही हूँ यहाँ पे खड़े रह के, and I feel like that sometimes, you know, we forget.
Yeah, and I think that as artists, we keep learning from each other.
Yeah.
And which brings me back to Kusha. She's like, I'm taking too much time, but you need that because we're going to talk about each one of your journeys. But the first time I saw you, Kusha, is at a conference. And
yes,
you spoke so splendidly well because you're so articulate. And you know, for somebody to come from a design background and may have not imagined this, but you stood there and commanded the audience. And I think that's your power. That's your superpower. I was moved to tears. And the best part is that, you know, I learned humility that day on another level through her, is because everybody else was a little shy to clap, I guess. And then I cracked this joke is that when trans people clap, you all get scared. But I'm not going to get scared if you all clap. And then Kusha is the first one. She's like, yes, queen.
Hey, was I there?
It was in... Were you there?
I feel like I was there.
it was in Delhi.
Hyderabad. We were in Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Sorry.
Sudeep was there.
Yeah,
Sudeep told me
Sudeep
about
was
this.
there.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, and she was there, and I realized then, and this is exactly what we're doing, cheering each other on, right? Like queens support queens. But Kusha, I'm going to do one round of questions. Like I'm not looking at your directions only. I'm going to do one round of questions, and we'll start with you. When you got to realize and you kind of experienced that, okay, this is becoming a reality. I am influencing so many people just by stating and creating, of course, characters, by stating obvious things. When did you see that shift happening, and what was that turning point for you saying that ab to ye kar raha hai?
I think turning point was obviously when people reward you with their views, with their appreciation for you. All of that is there. But, you know, I think I was meant to do this all my life, but I held myself back so much because I was not encouraged. You know, when I was, I think, 19, I remember I was trying to crack jokes at this one gathering, and this guy just came up to me and said, dude, why are you trying to be funny? And I'm like, you know, so micro incidents like these become like a macro feeling, and then it stays with you all your life. But at the same time, when you see that people are liking what you're doing, and these thoughts have always been in your mind. You've always been performing for your relatives, for your parents, for all the people around you. You are the class clown. You have this urge to always crack jokes and have the last word. So once I started to channel that into actual videos which had scripts, because I don't consider myself an influencer. I consider myself a writer at core, because I write my stuff, and I am surrounded by writers in my team also. So writing is what I do the most, because I write my content, I write the jokes I'm doing. Even if it's like a 30-second rant, I am constantly writing and correcting what I have to do in that. So once I realized that, oh wow, this is working out, it's great. But at the same time, that social capital that you're talking about, which is a fantastic question, I feel you start, if you make mistakes, you realize that these mistakes have consequences, which is fantastic. I think you have to realize that you are going to make mistakes once you're going to be online, you're going to be on the internet, because life is about making mistakes, rectifying them, unlearning things and learning them again.
Absolutely.
Right? And learning something hopefully different and not the same thing. So definitely that. So there's been a lot of learning and there's been more unlearning, I would say. So that has been the process, and I've been very honest about it. If I've made a mistake, I've just been like, okay, this was...
That's what we love about.
Yeah, and this was not okay. Okay, let me see what I can do about it. So yeah, that's the thing. But at the same time, this gives me joy. I feel
This gives
alive.
us joy, queen.
It does.
You better not like let the saboteurs and all come for you, because then you give me a call. I'll come and do.
Of course, beta, of course.
Oh my God. I'm fangirling so much. And I know y'all personally. It's like crazy that every time I meet y'all, it's just like this moment where like I've seen y'all from where y'all started, and today y'all are icons. And I'm so happy for each one of you.
Can I just say this?
Yes.
I mean, you are being extremely kind, but I want everybody watching this to know this. So I was once, I won a beauty pageant.
Yes, she did.
Of
I didn't
course you
win it,
did.
but I'm...
You all
have
went
to
college
see.
together?
No. So the story is, so I won it, and then that was the semi-finals that we had in college, okay? And then the finals happened in Fort. So we went there, and I saw Sushant there for the first time. Sushant wasn't singing. Sushant was dancing. Sushant was a contemporary dancer. Are you still doing that? Not as much.
I stretch a little bit in the mornings.
Bendy every now and then.
Oh.
But so I saw Sushant perform for the first time, and I was like, there is no way I'm going to go through in this. And I don't think we even spoke. I just remember being very like, listen, but like, who is that? And Sushant being Sushant, he's just walked straight in. The energy is his. He's finished everything. He's walked away. Many years later, we connected on Instagram. So I want you to know that you had a huge part and continue to have a huge part in the fact that अगर आज हम बैठ के बातें कर रहे हैं, and the fact that you put it in that many words, you know, like she said, we always tend to be like कि चलो let the work speak for itself, we don't want to do that. But one thing I love and learn from you is that you are your biggest cheerleader, and that sometimes we forget. We're like, why am I not doing that? Like, why am I not cheering for myself? So thank you for doing that, Sushi.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. But no, as trans
the makeup.
people, I think it's because we've been neglected for so long. I think it is very important for trans women to get their due. Trans women. And you know, y'all had this revolution that happened many years back, and we're having it today. Yeah. But for me to have been invited here, I take each and every opportunity I get and I celebrate it. I may do a shit job of it, as she said that, you know, we make mistakes. And yes, you can make a mistake, that's fine. But I have to speak about, you know, all the achievements, and not just for me. All of you, for all of you. I love it, the fact that, you know, we've seen what we've seen and we're still dealing with our demons. But the thing is that we're here today. We woke up and we decided we're going to slay this today, and yeah, most days. But, you know, Prajakta, having said that, thanks for all the compliments, but this is not about me, this is about y'all. When you started off making content, creating content, this was about 8-9 years back.
7, yes.
Yeah, 7 years back. But, you know, 7 years back, when you started, you didn't have somebody to look at to sort of learn from their mistakes. Because today, when you start a channel or you start making content, you have us to see and say that, okay, they messed up here, so maybe we should kind of correct that. But you didn't have anybody to kind of look at and say, this is not the way to do it. You made your content, and you were probably one of the first stars that we had in this country. And that's a lot of people, Prajakta. So I'm going to remind you, you're a star. But how did that feel? What was your thought process making content then as opposed to making content now? What's the journey been?
I think there were two parts to it. Number one, that I think I lucked out completely with the team that I got. I mean, I started with One Digital from the day go, and I feel like honestly having a Sudeep, a Gurpreet, a Saurav in my life to tell me exactly what is going to happen, because we all started so blind about the internet, you know. So that was one for sure. I mean, I was making mistakes, but I was making them in close circles, and I had a bouncing board, I was going to say sounding board. So I was bouncing ideas and I was getting feedback on that, which I think I'm very, very fortunate to have that in my life. But having said that, I think even today, you know, we could start today, but there is no guarantee that, I mean, of course, like you won't make the same mistakes, but we as creators, when you start off, because this platform is so unpredictable, there is no blueprint. You cannot tell what is a success roadmap. You cannot tell ki, acha aise karoge to tumhare videos chal jayenge. You can't. So they might not, people who start today might not make the mistakes we made, but I'm pretty sure they'll make the same amount of new ones.
Right.
Because every creator has a very different journey. Is why I never understand when so many people are like, there's so much competition. I said, kaise competition? No. How is that even possible? Yeah. Because we all know Kusha makes comedy content, I make comedy content, but sometimes we might even make the exact same video, but she'll have a very different experience living that when she tells the story, and same with me. So I just feel like that just cuts competition into zero. It's impossible to be competitive on the internet if you're real. Unless you're trying to be someone else, then it's tough. Yeah. But that is why I think that yes, I was very privileged to have a team like that, but also that doesn't really change the mistakes that people will still make when you start today. Right. So having said that, just making peace with the fact it's going to happen. It's a rite of passage. You are going to hit blocks which you did not predict, because the platform is changing every day. You ask us, where is this going to be in the next 5 months? We don't know.
Yes.
You know, I don't know. Like, so many people are like, where are you going to be 5 years down the line? So I said, happy, I hope. But other than that, I don't know. You know, because I didn't predict this 7 years ago. Yeah. I didn't think I would be here. Yeah. So why would I want to put a cap on what can happen or cannot? So I think just having faith in the uncertainty of this, I think making peace in your mind, kid, you don't have control over this.
Right.
But taking every day as it comes and sort of going with the flow, not holding yourself back. It's challenging everyday stuff. You try new things and you're just like, nahi ho payega yaar mere se. And then you get through the day and you're like, good job, P. Well done.
Good job, P.
Right? So I think there's no way you can prepare yourself for this crazy job that we have.
Okay, so we're just going to like take her word for it. And having said that, now, we started off in a time and place where there was, you know, internet. But Rytasha, coming to you, please give me some time, yeah. What is this like? They're like, but bol up to. Very transphobic.
Oh my God, Sushant.
Rytasha, when you started off, you know, you started with theatre, you had this wonderful training, and I remember when we had taken a break from reading, and you came and told me, because I was so scared, I had never been in a part of a theatre production, and she just held my hand and said, chill, yeah, it's okay, I think you're doing a good job. And then I was just like, this was outside of, you know, there was more senior actors than us. And then I felt really good because she came from abroad. And she had actually gone to an acting school there. And I was like, okay, if she's saying this, then must be true. But, you know, okay, so for now, we have social media now, right? But when you started off and you changed the game even on television, in my opinion, in Bado Bahu. Bahu, what is Bahu? Bado Bahu. And I used to enjoy watching it because also Prince is a friend. And I really, really admired you for being unabashed about the role. You know, you killed it there. But the transition from television and theatre to the, you know, OTT medium, how was that experience for you? Because it kind of can be very overwhelming, because you're used to, okay, I'll come, I'll finish shooting, I'll do my job, and I'm done. Here, it's like constantly trying to create content, trying to kind of also speak about issues that you address very beautifully as well. How has that transition been for you?
So when I finished my TV show, everyone was like, so what are you going to do next? And I was like, I'm just going to be on Netflix. And that's true. I honestly just told everyone that because I was like, I can't do another TV show. There's no way I can endure this again. And I was jobless for a long time. I did feel pressured at some point thinking maybe if I'm not being cast in acting roles, I need to start upping my social media game, creating content, putting my talent out there, because that's the beauty about the internet. Everyone has the power to make their own content and you become your own hero or heroine and you put yourself out there. So I was in that debate for a long time. That's why I joined BuzzFeed, thinking I'm going to be an intern at BuzzFeed and just be surrounded by young, creative, intelligent energy. And I did that. Not much came out of it. My social media game was still zero because I remember asking Shayan to teach me editing and I've given up in 30 minutes flat. I was like, ये मेरे से नहीं होगा, मुझे कोई interest नहीं है. So I was like, ये छोड़ो, we'll focus on acting. So I don't think I took a lot of stress about it. I'm still very like, in the lockdown I had the days also where I was like, oh, I need to make content. All these people are killing it. They have all these alternate revenue streams. And why am I lazy? Why am I not writing things for myself? I still beat myself up about that. Eventually, I hope I will write something. But the transition to OTT has been organic and easy, in fact. It feels more natural.
Yeah.
Working on a fiction show after Bado Bahu, the first thing I did was Masaba. Most incredible female-led team. A writer's room full of women. Sonam, the most incredible director I could have had the chance to work with. And all this right after I've come out of being a regressive bahu for like 1.5 years. So that was such a lovely experience. I felt like I fit right in and I was like, this is what I want to do. It doesn't matter what role I have. I care about the quality of people and the quality of thoughts that I'm surrounded by.
Absolutely.
Quality of work that I'm doing. That's what's important to me. And that's when I was like, ठीक है, this is nice. I'm going to do this now. Instead of thinking मुझे heroine बनना है, I'm going to be like, I want to work with so and so. I want to learn from so and so. And it's worked out.
And that's why I say that you're like eclectic. You all will fit into the mold that you're like given. And I think that's a beautiful artist. Because as I said the role you were given, you portrayed beautifully. I know it was regressive. I know those are conversations to have for a later debate. They're not paying us. Yeah. Okay, so now we've done this and we've spoken about y'all and your transitions from one medium to another, and then even for y'all, like from, of course, from that. And today, you're all three of y'all are playing wonderful characters in your respective projects for Netflix. Of course, Prajakta is in Mismatched. I'm going to take the liberty to say that you are not opposite Rohit Saraf. I love Rohit. But a way to look at it is y'all are co-actors and he's probably opposite to you. In the introductions, I usually see that playing so-and-so in Mismatched opposite Rohit Saraf. And I'm like, but why? She is her own person and you're your own artist. And I think that that's what very beautifully they portrayed. And again, Netflix, see? Because they have women writing it.
I was about to say that.
Women writing.
I was about to say that. I think kudos to Ghazal for leading a team of writers that, you know what? I spoke about this a while ago also. I think it's high time we normalize writing like this instead of sensationalizing writing like this.
Yes.
Instead of saying, oh, what a woman character you've written. Yeah, well done. Instead of saying that, I feel like it's normal, That was one of my biggest arguments in a lot of media interviews that I was doing. I was like, why are you so surprised that a 17-year-old girl from Ambala wants to be a coder and she doesn't care about romance in her life right now?
And a trans woman at that. And it doesn't matter because she's a writer first and everything else later.
Yeah, I think Ghazal did a wonderful job with the characters.
And with Gia in Masaba, I was vibing because I'm that best friend. I am that best friend who is my best friend's biggest cheerleader. You can do whatever and come back to me. And I felt that because Rytasha, you are also like that in real life.
We all have those female friendships, right? So it was actually the easiest thing to do because that's my real life.
But see, when you're closest to your real life character is actually, in my opinion, the tougher characters. Because you have to draw that very narrow line between Rytasha and Gia. So I think thank you for doing that. And it's streaming now, currently, you know,
That's
your
true.
show. So people can go
Season
watch
2
it.
hopefully will release soon.
Yes, it will. And ghost stories se leke plan A, plan. I'm getting your voice. Bitch, I'm doing this.
But you know this happens if you binge watch her content, you'll start speaking
I'm
like her.
telling you.
You will.
It is. I've started speaking like you, Kusha. I'm a fan. I'm
Oh my God, please stop.
Beta G. Oh my God.
Hello, G.
Mic drop. But congratulations on Ghost Stories, but also Plan A, Plan B that we are all waiting with bated breath for. Thank you so much, girls, women, queens, goddesses, for being here, sharing your moments and being the moment. Namaste. But before we leave, the one sentence, because they are going to now budget. Nahi, because set. But one line from Prajakta, Rytasha, and Kusha. I'm taking all your full names. Yeah, please, Prajakta, go first. One line to your audience.
Oh, like that. I thought I
Your
missed the
closing
question.
sentence, something motivational, something funny, something what that Kusha's character. I'm still going to stop this.
I don't know about funny. I suck at improv. I am not very funny in the moment. But I think given where we are, why we are here, what we are doing, I think to everybody out there, not just women, men, other genders, everyone, I'd just like to say that this is just a learning that every time you make any decision, and I mean any decision, personally, professionally, please don't let gender be a filter, ever. And that just simplifies so many conversations in your head. Suddenly, it's much easier to get to a decision. And that has helped me through a lot. So I'm guessing it'll help you too.
Wow.
And thank you.
Rytasha.
Just watch some good content. And yeah, that's it. I have nothing else to say.
Like Masaba season 1.
Follow me on Instagram. I'll tell you the tricks there.
All
I'm just
right.
gonna put a story saying follow Rytasha, right? Actually, Prajakta and I should put a story saying that. Yeah, must. If you are a female storyteller, please come out, tell your story. I can count the number of female storytellers we have in mainstream Bollywood, and which means it's not a good thing. There should be countless. So if you're a woman, you're a storyteller, please come out, tell your story. We need more female storytelling. That's about it.
And with that, we have come to the end of this wonderful panel. May we have many more beautiful female artists, creators, storytellers, directors, producers, technicians, and divas. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. Namaste.